skills, and more importantly, develop more of their critical thinking skills that will help them accomplish the mission for the complex environment that we have at hand. And ultimately, with the goal of continuing to have the privilege to lead our formations in our Army. We're excited for them because we know the journey they're about to embark on, and we wish them all the best of luck. Certainly, they could not have been as successful in this course without the love and support of their loved ones. And I'd like to take a minute to just say thanks to being Army Family Strong, to all the loved ones that are here with us today, and those that you represent that couldn't be here with us today. So, round of applause for our family. Best of luck to you. I know you'll continue to do great things. And with that, let's graduate.
Good morning, Lieutenant Colonel Matiana, Mrs. Matiana, Command Sergeant Major Enoch, distinguished guests, family, and friends. On behalf of the Commandant of the Air Defense Artillery School, Brigadier General Christopher L. Spillman, we would like to welcome you to the Captain's Career Course graduation ceremony for Class 4-14. Although taking pictures is encouraged, we ask that no pictures be taken during the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the invocation and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem and the Soldier's Creed.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we take this time to seek your blessing on today's graduation ceremony. We thank you for the leadership, commitment, and the support for all the instructors, cadre during this Captain's Career Course. We're also grateful for their families and loved ones who have given support during this time of separation. Father, we are so proud of these fine soldiers and grateful for their dedication and hard work to reaching this achievement. So we pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Leaders and soldiers, please join the Leadership Award winner, Captain Harold Butterfield, in reciting the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed.
I am an American soldier. I am a warrior and a member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live in the armed values. I will always place submission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient on my warrior tasks and drills. I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert and I am a professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I am guarding freedom and the American way of life. I am an American soldier.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. At this time, please direct your attention to the screen for a video presentation brought to you by the Captain's Career Course, Class 4-14. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct privilege to introduce the guest speaker for today, ADA Deputy Commandant, Colonel Retired Michael Sinley. Mr. Michael D. Sinley is a 1989 Distinguished Military Graduate of the University of North Dakota and holds a master's degree in strategic studies from the Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Mr. Sinley has commanded from battery to brigade levels. His recent command was 30th Air Defense Artillery Brigade at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. After completing brigade command, he was reassigned as the Assistant Commandant for the Air Defense Artillery Branch. Mr. Mike Sinley served in numerous nominative assignments and deployments, to include Army Staff, where he served as the Air Defense Artillery Colonel's Human Resource Manager, Washington, D.C., and assigned as team leader with the Rapid Equipping Force in direct support of the IED Task Force in Mosul, Iraq. He deployed to the Republic of Korea, Desert Storm, and Operation Iraqi Freedom. Mr. Sinley retired from active duty in October 2014. He is currently serving as the Deputy Commandant for Air Defense Artillery. Mr. Sinley's awards and decorations include the Legion of Merit, the Meritorious Service Medal, 5 Oak Leaf Clusters, the Army Commendation Medal, 4 Oak Leaf Clusters, the Army Achievement Medal, 4 Oak Leaf Clusters, the Airborne Badge, the Army Staff Identification Badge, and the Combat Action Badge. He is married to the former Miss Melita Beth Mullins of Shady Springs, West Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the class senior mentor, the Deputy Commandant, Michael Sinley.
Well, you know you're in trouble and you're getting old when your bio is longer than your prepared remarks. You know, that's not a good start. But, you know, that was a great video, but I got to tell you, one picture really stood out as awkward to me, and that's our historian wearing a cowboy hat. Did that look weird or what? Wow. Well, distinguished guests, family, and friends, thank you all for attending, and most importantly, congratulations to Class 0414. And a special thanks to all our coalition partners and their families that are here today. So I got to tell you, I'm very thankful that Colonel Jim Payne isn't sitting next to me. You know, I've known this guy for almost 25 years now. We met at the basic course. And I got to tell you, when I first met him, you've all seen him, right? The thoughts that ran through my mind was, he is a mountain of a man. And the next thought is, I never want to stand next to him on a parade field. And we talked about this at the change of command. But guess what? I had to pass the guy on to him, you know? And so I was thinking today, I was kind of short-sighted. I should have said, I never want to stand next to him on the parade field or stand next to him and crew him on the board. So I'm glad he's not here today. But, okay, so here's the bottom line. It was 18 years ago when I sat in your chair. And I started to think about it. Who was the guest speaker? Well, guess what? I didn't know. So obviously I didn't know what the guest speaker's message was. So then I fast forwarded to about 4 years ago to the Army War College graduation. Guess what? I had no idea who the guest speaker was and what his message was. So I promised to be brief, but I have some takeaways for you. I figure if I'm brief, you might take those takeaways and actually use them in the rest of your careers. So most of you are going to go from here to command formations. And I have a homework assignment for you over the Christmas holidays. And that's simply this. Think about how you will be defined as a commander and leader. What will be your legacy? Okay? So there's your homework. When I think about great air defense leaders, several come to mind. The first one is General Ross, the first air defender to command at the Fire Center of Excellence. Another one is General McNamara. And I'll tell you, he was my battalion commander in Germany. And what a phenomenal leader. He had that command climate piece figured out, and he was so focused on the mission and the training of his soldiers. And when we deployed without a hit. He was just that kind of a commander. And then the third one is General Bromberg. And you know, I've never ever worked for General Bromberg. But why I put him on that list is because when he was the 32nd AAMP commander during the Gulf War, I remember seeing him on national news. And when Air Defense had a great day and shot down a bunch of TBMs, he talked like this: "We had a good day." And then when air defense had a couple dark days, he was back on national news and said, "I have a problem." Think about that. That's a 32nd double AMDC commander, and he was taking responsibility for something that was happening below the battery level. Think about that. Now that's leadership in my mind. And then, you know, quite honestly, we have some poor leaders too in air defense, and they get weeded out really quickly. But you know what? 9 times out of 10, you know why they fail? Poor command climate, and they didn't take care of their soldiers. So there's a takeaway right there, right? All right, so most of you have experiences between 6 to 8 years at this point, right? And those experiences that you have made you the leaders that you are. We talked about good leaders, we talked about bad leaders. And those experiences make you the individuals you are today. So, the former Fire Center of Excellence Commander, General Mark McDonald, 34 years of experience when I hear him say this. He summed up leadership and being successful into 3 things. First one, accomplish the mission. 2, take care of your soldiers. And 3, be ready to deploy. There's another takeaway, right? All right, so let's peel those back just a little bit. So, accomplish the mission. Okay, what's your role and responsibility? Resource, time, and then the last one, mission command, clear intent, right? You're going to give your subordinates their left and right limits. Okay? And then it's okay to explain why. Our soldiers need to know why. That's different than when I was a enlisted soldier. Someone told me what to do, I just did it. Things have changed. It's okay to explain why. Let me give you one quick vignette. So I am in Iraq, and the actual mission we were on this day is to look for IEDs. We were doing route clearance, and I had a new driver that day. And we are in a Buffalo. And for those that you don't know what a Buffalo is, it's a monstrous vehicle that's armored, and it's V-plated out the bottom. So the very safest place to be if there's an IED in the area is to be right on top of that IED. Well, I had a new driver, and we are in the cone blast, and we are vulnerable. I said, hey, drive over to that IED. Can you imagine the look I got? But guess what? When I explained why we're vulnerable right now, we're right in that cone blast, he never ever doubted what I told him ever again. And guess what? We both came home safe. So it's okay when you're giving your intent to clearly articulate the left and right limit and why. Now his second comment was, take care of soldiers. Wow, you hear it all the time, right? All the time. But how do you take care of your soldiers if you don't know your soldiers? So that is an investment in you. That is an investment in your first line supervisors. Here's how I've always articulated it to my subordinates. Invest in your soldiers early, because if God forbid you lose one, I guarantee you will know everything about them after the fact. And then it's just simply too late. And then the third one, be ready to deploy. So here's another homework. Here's some more homework for you. We just recently did the Career Management Field 14 review. We validated that 58% of our force is forward stationed, forward deployed. But here's what you need to know. 42% has dwelled, which means for all you civilians out there that can't deploy, they're just coming back from deployment. 42% of our force. But here's the alarming piece that you all need to get after. This is really incredible. Almost 2 battalions worth of air defenders are non-deployed. You talk about putting stress on the force. You have got to aggressively go after and correct these problems. Think of that, 2 battalions. If we had 2 more battalions in our rotation, our dwell would go from 1 to 2 to 1 to 3. So, clearly important. So, let's talk about aha moments for a moment. General Rossi talks about his aha moment that made him the leader he is today. He is a young officer in charge of a tax site in Germany, watching the Fulda Gap. Guess what happens? 2 hostile aircraft are inbound. He tries to go to the ready. Guess what? His system is down. And the Air Force had to come in and do his job. That was his aha moment as a young officer. And that shaped the way he did business from then on. So think about your experiences. Have you had that aha moment yet? If you haven't, it's coming. So this morning I'd like to take just a couple minutes and share just a couple of aha moments that I've had. Now keep in mind, I've already said it was 18 years ago when I went through CCC. It was about 17 years ago when I commanded my first battery and 16 years ago when I commanded the second one. So I believe these facts to be true, and I don't think they're embellished too much. But we'll take it from there. So, first one, there I am. I'm a CCC graduate. 1 year later, I find myself in Germany, in command of a Patriot battery, on my way to Saudi Arabia on a deployment. That fast. Okay? It's going to happen that fast for some of you too. We set up near our site near Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And within that first week, guess what? It happens. And I'm feeling pretty good. There's that TBM launch. And guess what? I got my #1 crew in the band, and I'm in the ECS. It's a good day, right? Should feel very confident. My very best lieutenant jumps up out of her seat, runs out of the back of the engagement control station, and vomits over the ground. That's an aha moment. So, I don't know if it was quick thinking or what, but I called another crew. They were on the way, but I also went in front of my lieutenant, looked her in the eyes, and said, "You're my #1 lieutenant. Get back in there and do your job." And guess what? Everything worked out just fine. But that moment stuck with me forever, and it shaped the way I commanded at the battalion level, and it shaped the way I commanded at the brigade level. And I'll tell you, here's what it started with. I am a NFL fan, and I equate it to the National Football League and a rookie quarterback. Think about the commentators, what they say about an NFL rookie quarterback. Game's too fast for them. And then when they're getting more snaps and more snaps and more snaps, it's finally slowing down and finally seeing the field. Well, that's the way training needs to be in air defense artillery. It needs to be so much harder than the real thing that there is no pucker factor. And it's all natural. And that's the way you need to train your soldiers. Okay? That was my aha moment. From that day on, at the battalion level and brigade level, I live by this. Tough, realistic training that replicates how we fight in combat. Well-rehearsed and professionally executed. So what is it that you are going to live by as a commander? Okay, I said I commanded twice. The second time, now keep in mind, I just talked about General McNamara. Great command climbing, focused on the mission, incredible training regimen. Second commander was all about cosmetics. And I sort of tried to drink the water. I tried. I came up with the saying of, if you look sorry in garrison, you'll be a disaster in battle. Well, two things changed that for me. Our readiness rates significantly dropped. And two, I happened to be in Saudi Arabia in Dhahran during the Khobar Towers bomb. And I saw some great garrison leaders do absolutely stupid things after a 20,000-pound bomb went off in Khobar Towers. And I saw a crusty mechanic, E5, do heroic things. See, there's more to this profession than looking good at this. It's got to be focused on training. Those are my two aha moments that I wanted to share with you. The other thing I just want to briefly talk about is this week we had our Patriot Top Gun 10th anniversary graduation. So in 10 years, we've only had 199 people graduate from the Patriot Top Gun course. So you have got to invest in your soldiers. You're going to be busy, but send them back to school. Your NCOs need to go to the Patriot Master Gunner course, and your officers need to go to the Top Gun course. All right? It's that important. Invest in this branch. Let me give you one quick story and then I'll close this up. So you look over to my right, there's Chief Warrant Officer of the branch, CW5 Jones. When I was a battery commander, he was a young sergeant. He came up to me and he said, "Sir, I'm getting out of the Army." And my response was, "No, you're not. You're going to warrant officers." All right? Don't pick many, especially at the E5 level. But when you see talent like that, you pick them and you send them on. But you send the majority to Patriot Top Gun and Patriot Master Gun. All right? Just like we almost lost that incredible talent. So in closing, I want you to remember just a few things. Do your homework, figure out what your legacy as a commander is going to be, and then adjust your philosophy and vision to suit that. Always accomplish the mission, take care of your soldiers, and be ready to deploy. Now let's graduate.
Ladies and gentlemen, for each class, the United States Army, Air, and Missile Defense School recognizes a Lieutenant General Levan, Distinguished Honor Graduate, a Major General Infante, International Distinguished Honor Graduate, a Colonel Macello, Tactics Award winner, a Lieutenant General Leonetti, Leadership Award winner, a Colonel Simmons, Communication Skills Award winner, and a Major General Anderson, Iron Leader. The Lieutenant General Levan, Distinguished Honor Graduate, is a student who achieved the highest academic average in the class, scored at least a 270 on the final APFT, and gained the recommendation of the class instructors. The Lieutenant General Levan Distinguished Honor Graduate for Class 414 is Captain Thaddeus Morris. He will proceed to Okinawa, Japan. He will receive the Army Achievement Medal. Captain Morris is also the Colonel Macello Tactics Award winner. The Tactics Award is presented to the student who demonstrates superior tactical competence during the tactical exercises with our troops and subsequent board. The Major General Infante International Distinguished Honor Graduate is the student who achieved the highest international academic average in the class, scored at least a pass on the final APFT, and gained the recommendation of the class instructors. The Major General Infante International Distinguished Honor Graduate for Class 414 is Captain Lutfi Novrali. He will proceed to Tentara Nasional, Indonesia. He will receive a Certificate of Achievement and a battalion coin. Captain Novrali is also the Major General Anderson Iron Leader Award winner with an APFT score of 362. The Major General Anderson Iron Leader Award is presented to the student with exemplary performance on the Army Physical Fitness Test. The Lieutenant General Leonetti Leadership Award is presented to the officer selected by his or her peers and instructors, who has demonstrated the highest example of professionalism and leadership during the course. The Colonel Leonetti Leadership Award recipient for Class 414 is Captain Harold Butterfield. He will proceed to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He will receive a Certificate of Achievement and a battalion coin. The Colonel Simmons Communication Skills Award is presented to the student who has been selected for displaying the highest degree of written communication excellence during the mission command portion of the course. The Colonel Simmons Communication Skill Award recipient for Class 414 is Captain Jared Menkavich. He will proceed to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He will receive a Certificate of Achievement and a battalion coin. At this time, the 26th Battalion Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Matiana, and the 26th Battalion Command Sergeant Major Enoch, will present the awardees with their Army Achievement Medals, certificates, and coins. Please join me in a round of applause for the distinguished honor graduate and the award recipients of Class 414. Now we recognize the honor graduates of Class 414. These captains are recognized for graduating in the top of their class. They will each receive a certificate of achievement. Please hold your applause until all of the honor graduates have been recognized. Captain David Dagenhall. He will proceed to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Captain Daniel Crons. He will proceed to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Captain Trevor Hopkins. He will proceed to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Captain Andrew Johnson. He will proceed to Osan Air Force Base, Korea. Captain Scott Negrete. He will proceed to Dothan, Alabama. Captain David Yee. He will proceed to Fort Bliss, Texas. Captain Atif Khan. He will proceed to Pakistan. Captain Athanasios Siamis. He will proceed to Greece. Please join me in a round of applause for the honor graduates of Class 414. The remainder of the class will be recognized by rank alphabetically. Please hold your applause until all of the graduates have been recognized. Major Hassan Abawafa. He will proceed to Egypt. Major Ahmed Mahmoud Ibrahim. He will proceed to Egypt. Captain Edward Alvarado. He will proceed to Fort Riley, Kansas. Captain Mesut Bazgol. He will proceed to Turkey. Captain Lawrence Buffalino. He will proceed to Camp Carroll, Korea. Captain Kai Chen. He will proceed to Taiwan. Captain Roderick Cooper. He will proceed to Camp Carroll, Korea. Captain Rodolfo Davila. He will proceed to Suwon Air Force Base, Korea. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Tony Hayes. He will proceed to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Captain Robert Herring. He will proceed to Shaw Air Force Base, South Carolina. Captain Tornike Kartvelishvili. He will proceed to Georgia. Captain Jisoo Lin. She will proceed to Korea. Captain William Mahan. He will proceed to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Captain Rinaldo Munoz. He will proceed to Osan Air Force Base, Korea. Captain Fazari Mutala. He will proceed to Suwon Air Force Base, Korea. Captain Jacob Radcliffe. He will proceed to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Captain Lawrence Rowley. He will proceed to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Captain Osama Saeed. He will proceed to Tunisia. Captain Thomas Sanchez. He will proceed to Daegu, Korea. Captain Edward Slinker. He will proceed to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Captain Osama Walid Suleiman. He will proceed to Jordan. Captain Courtney T. Meyer. She will proceed to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Captain Stephen T. Meyer. He will proceed to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present the graduates of the Air Defense Artillery's Captain's Career Course, Class 414. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present the instructors from the Air Defense Artillery's Captain's Career Course, Class 414. At this time, Captain Morris will present the senior class mentor with the saber as a token of appreciation.
Sir, on behalf of our class, I'd like to present you with this saber. Thanks for your mentorship for our class specifically, but also for the legacy that you leave behind for us to follow.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the Air Defense Artillery March and the Army Song. The distinguished honor graduates, and awardees will make their way to the front of the stage. The remainder of the class will position themselves along the side wall. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's graduation ceremony. On behalf of the Captain's Career Course, Class 414, we would like to thank the families, cadre, and the Fort Sill leadership for their continued support. Please take the time to congratulate the graduates, and thank you for your attendance.